Have you ever messed up in your relationship with God and in your relationships with the world around? Have you ever created a situation where you could not come back, or you feel your life is getting messed up? Well, I want us to turn our Bibles to Psalms 51 and we look at David. He had messed up a big time. Yeah, we know that he had fallen in sin with Bathsheba. And when he had failed, when he had fallen, the prophet Nathan went and confronted him with his sin. But the way David rose back is amazing. Because what David did at that time when he fell is, instead of turning to Nathan to raise him back again, to help him come back again, he turns to God. He does not turn to man for help. You know, when you mess up big time, when you think that you have created confusion around you, when you feel you have disappointed people, it's not man that can help you rise back. You need to turn to God. David, being king, he depended on God for help. In Psalms 51, we read in verse 10, David cries out to God, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." He begins to cry out to God. He begins to show his entire reliance and dependence on God. He begins in the next verse and says, "Cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me." Means, in simple words, he's saying, I am dependent on you, God. If you move away from my life will be messed up. But before he could call upon God for help, he had to realize first that he has messed up. And that's what we read in Psalms 51. He says in verse 3, "For I know my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me." I know my transgressions. Now, he being king, being a man of influence, a man of position, yet humbly acknowledges, I have sinned, I have failed, I have messed up. I want to tell you, no matter how great you may be in the world, don't hesitate to turn to God for help. Don't hesitate to turn to God to help you to come out from your mess. In verse 1 of Psalm 51, David begins to speak how weak he is, how he needs God's help. In verse 1, he says, "Have mercy on me, O God, according to your steadfast love, according to your abundant mercy." According to your abundant mercy, according to your steadfast love. Have mercy on me, O God. That means he knew God is the one whose mercy is more important. God is the one whose love is always steadfast. No matter how much we may have failed or fallen, I want to encourage you and tell you that God's love is always steadfast. God's mercies are new every morning. All you need to do is acknowledge your weakness, acknowledge your failure. No matter how many times you may have failed, acknowledge it before God. Rest in Him. No matter how many times, turn back to Him, because He is fully able to create in you a clean heart. David, being king, turned to God for help when he failed and had fallen. I want to tell you, when you have failed and fallen, don't turn to yourself, because you cannot help yourself. Yes, you can do one thing, is look into yourself, acknowledge your sin, acknowledge your weakness, and turn to God. It's not people around you that will be able to help you, but God and God alone. In all your weaknesses, turn back to Him, and He will lift you back. David was lifted once again. He was restored once again. And that's what God will do in your life. God bless you.